For 3 years, Emma had been the person I called first whenever something good happened. She was also the person I wanted beside me whenever life became difficult. I had built so many memories with her that sometimes I could no longer remember what my life had felt like before she entered it. That morning, however, I couldn't stop checking the mirror while driving. Emma noticed. "Why do you keep looking at yourself?" "I'm nervous." She laughed softly. "About what?" "Today." "You mean meeting your parents?" "Yes." She raised an eyebrow. "You've met your parents thousands of times." "That's exactly why I'm nervous." "I don't understand." I took a breath. "Because this isn't just another dinner." Emma looked at me. "Then what is it?" I tightened my hands around the steering wheel. "I'm taking you home because you're the woman I want to marry." She became completely silent. For a few seconds, I could hear nothing except the sound of the car moving along the road. Then she smiled. "You really mean that?" "I wouldn't say it if I didn't." "You've never said it like that before." "I know." "Why today?" "Ich glänzte her." "Because I've spent 3 years thinking about our future. I don't want to keep waiting for the perfect moment." Emma looked down at her hands. "I've been waiting 3 years for you to say something like that." I smiled. "So, you're not angry?" "Angry. You've been patient with me." She laughed. "I was beginning to think you were afraid of commitment." "I wasn't afraid." "You were. Maybe a little." She leaned closer. "Then what changed?" "You did." She stared at me. I continued. "You stayed when things weren't easy. You didn't walk away when I lost my job. You didn't complain when I had to work late. You listened when I talked about my problems with my family. You make me sound like some kind of saint." "You're not." She laughed. "Good. But you're the person I trust most." Her expression softened. When I turned onto my parents' street, Emma suddenly became quiet. I looked at her. "Still nervous?" "A little." "You don't have to be. That's easy for you to say." I smiled. "My mother's going to hug you the second you walk through the door." "How do you know?" "Because she has been asking me about you for months." Emma looked surprised. "Seriously?" "Seriously. What does she ask?" "Everything." "Everything." I nodded. "Your job. Your family. Your favorite food. How we met. How long we've been together." Emma covered her face. "Oh no." I laughed. "Relax. She already likes you. You're enjoying this." "A little." She lightly pushed my shoulder. "Stop laughing." "I can't." We parked outside the house. For a moment, neither of us moved. Emma looked at the front door. "Are you coming?" "I am." "Then why aren't you getting out?" I took a breath. "Because this feels bigger than I expected." She looked at me. "You're really serious about us?" "Completely." She smiled. "Then let's go." We walked toward the house together. I reached for her hand before we reached the door. "You ready?" "No." I laughed. "Good. Neither am I." I knocked. Before I could knock again, the door opened. My mother stood there with the biggest smile I'd seen all week. "So this is Emma." Emma barely had time to answer before Mom pulled her into a hug. "Oh." Emma laughed nervously. "It's wonderful to finally meet you." My mother released her and held both her hands. "You're even prettier than I imagined." "Mom." "What?" "You're embarrassing me. I've waited 3 years for this moment." "I'm allowed." Emma smiled. "I've heard so much about you too." "Good things." "Mostly." Mom looked at me. "Mostly." I raised my hands. "Don't involve me." She laughed and pulled Emma inside. My father was waiting in the living room. He stood and walked toward us. "Emma." "Yes, sir." He smiled. "Please don't call me sir. Your family here." Dinner started better than I expected. Mom kept asking Emma questions. Dad listened carefully, and I found myself relaxing. Then Ryan leaned forward. "So, Emma, what do you do when you're not working?" Emma smiled. "I read. I travel when I can, and I spend too much time watching movies." Ryan laughed. "Really? What kind?" "Thrillers mostly." "That explains why my brother likes you." I looked at him. "What does that mean?" Ryan shrugged. "You're both terrible at relaxing." Emma laughed. "That's true." I smiled, but something about Ryan's attention bothered me. He kept asking Emma questions. "What city would you live in if you could choose anywhere?" "Maybe somewhere near the ocean." "Interesting. Why?" "I've always wanted to live near the ocean too." I looked between them. "You two are finding a lot in common." Ryan laughed. "I'm just getting to know her." Emma smiled politely. "I wanted to meet you too." Ryan leaned back. "What did you think I'd be like?" Emma glanced at me. "I didn't know." And now, she smiled. Friendly. Ryan looked pleased. I took a drink of water. For some reason, I didn't like how pleased he looked. I told myself it was stupid. Ryan was my brother. Emma was my girlfriend. There was nothing wrong with them talking. Still, I noticed little things. When Emma reached for her glass, Ryan moved it closer to her. When she mentioned a movie she liked, he immediately told her he had watched it. When she laughed at one of his jokes, he smiled as if her reaction mattered more than it should. I finally said, Ryan, you're interviewing her. He laughed. I'm being welcoming. You've asked her 20 questions. Then I'm doing a good job. Emma laughed. Let him ask. I looked at her. You're encouraging him? Maybe. Ryan smiled. See? She likes me already. I pointed at him. Don't get too confident. He raised both hands. I'm innocent. Mom looked at us. What's happening? Noth. The night air felt cool as Emma and I walked toward my car. She slipped her hand into mine. Your mother is incredible. I smiled. She likes you. She really likes me. She does. Emma laughed. I think she was ready to adopt me. She probably was. We reached the car, but before I opened the door, I heard Ryan behind me. Wait. I turned around. Ryan stood near the front door, his hands in his pockets. What? He looked at Emma. It was nice meeting you. Emma smiled. It was nice meeting you too. Ryan nodded. Then he looked at me. You look happy. I am. He smiled. You finally found the right woman. I laughed. You think so? I know so. I glanced at Emma. She was smiling shyly. I looked back at Ryan. Thanks, brother. He nodded. Don't mess it up. I won't. Ryan smiled. I believe you. I opened the passenger door for Emma. She got inside. Before I walked around to the driver's side, I looked back at my brother. He was still standing there. I raised my hand. Good night. Good night. I got into the car and started the engine. Emma looked at me. Your brother really cares about you. He always has. You're lucky. I know. She smiled. What? Nothing. Tell me. I was just thinking about what your brother said. What? That I could become part of your family. I smiled. You could. You really believe that? I don't just believe it. I reached for her hand. I want it. She squeezed my fingers. I wanted to. For a moment, neither of us spoke. I felt peaceful. I thought about the dinner, my mother's smile, my father's approval, and Ryan's words. Everything seemed to be falling into place. I looked at Emma. Someday, you'll laugh about how nervous you were tonight. She smiled. Maybe. And someday, you'll probably know my family better than I do. That might be difficult. My mother already told you more family stories than she has told me. Emma laughed. 1 week after bringing Emma home to meet my family, I drove back to my parents' house with a smile on my face. I thought I was walking into another ordinary family dinner. I had even stopped at a bakery on the way because Mom loved the chocolate cake from there. As soon as I opened the front door, I heard laughter. Mom, I called. In the dining room, I walked toward the voices. Why does it sound like there's a party? Mom appeared with a bright smile. You're finally here. I held up the cake. I brought your favorite. She stared at it for a second. Oh, sweetheart. You didn't have to. Then why does the house look like we're celebrating something? She quickly glanced toward the dining room. You'll find out. I laughed. What does that mean? Just come inside. I stepped forward and noticed flowers on the table, expensive plates, and several bottles of sparkling water. Mom, seriously. What's happening? She avoided my eyes. Sit down first. Is Dad here? He's in the dining room. And Ryan? He's here too. Something about her voice made my smile fade. Why are you acting strange? I'm not. You are. She forced another smile. Just trust me. I always do. I walked into the dining room. Then I stopped. Ryan was standing near the window. And beside him was Emma, my girlfriend. The woman I had spent 3 years loving. The woman I had brought home only 1 week earlier. For several seconds, I couldn't move. Emma looked at me. Her face went pale. Emma. She said nothing. I looked at Ryan. What is this? Ryan took a slow breath. Listen to me first. I stared at him. Why are you standing next to my girlfriend? Nobody answered. My father rose from his chair. Son, please sit down. No. My voice sounded unfamiliar. What's happening? Dad looked at Mom. Mom looked at Ryan. Then Ryan looked at Emma. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. I took 1 step forward. Emma, what are you? Stared at Emma, waiting for her to explain. She looked terrified. I looked at Ryan. You said you needed to tell me something. So tell me. Ryan took a breath. I'm sorry. I shook my head. Stop saying that. I don't need an apology. I need the truth. My father stepped forward. Let's sit down. I don't want to sit down. So, no, that. Just tell me what is happening. Ryan looked at Emma. Then he looked at me. We fell in love. I stared at him. You what? We fell in love. I laughed because the words sounded impossible. You fell in love with my girlfriend? I didn't plan this. You didn't plan it? No. Then how did it happen? Ryan rubbed his hands together. Things just happened. I stepped toward him. Things don't just happen, Ryan. I know. No, you don't. I pointed toward Emma. You knew exactly who she was. I know. You knew she was my girlfriend. I know. You knew I loved her. Ryan lowered his eyes. Yes. Then explain it. He stayed silent. I turned toward Emma. Was he lying to me? She whispered no. My chest tightened. So it's true? She nodded. You're actually choosing him? I didn't mean for this to happen. I laughed bitterly. That's what you're going with. I am sorry. You keep saying that. I don't know what else to say. Try the truth. She looked at me. I started having feelings for Ryan. When? She hesitated. Emma, a few days after I met your family. The room seemed to become completely silent. A few days. She nodded. I shook my head. No. Yes. No. We were together that entire week. I know. You call me every night. I know. You told me you loved me. I did. And you were seeing him? She started crying. I was confused. You were confused? Yes. I laughed again. Emma, I brought you home because I thought you were going to become my wife. I know. I thought my family would welcome. I stood in the middle of the dining room, staring at Emma and Ryan as if I could force the truth out of their faces. I couldn't. So I asked again, when exactly did this begin? Emma wiped her tears. The day after I met your family. I felt my stomach twist. The day after? Yes. I shook my head. That can't be right. It is. You came home with me that night. I know. You told me you had a wonderful time. I did. Then how could you go from loving me to loving Ryan overnight? She looked down. I didn't stop caring about you. That isn't what I asked. I know. I stepped closer. When did you realize you had feelings for him? Emma took a shaky breath. When we talked after dinner. I looked at Ryan. You talked to her alone? Ryan nodded. Only for a little while. About what? Nothing important. I laughed bitterly. Nothing important? Ryan looked uncomfortable. We talked about work, family, and life. And then, I don't know. You don't know? He rubbed his forehead. We started talking more. I stared at him. Ow! Messages. My heart sank. You were texting her? Yes. How often? Ryan didn't answer. I looked at Emma. How often? She whispered every day. I closed my eyes. Every day. While I thought she was planning our future, she was building another relationship behind my back. I opened my eyes. Did you meet? Yes. Where? Coffee shops. Sometimes near his office. And you told me you were busy? Emma began crying. Yes. I felt anger rise inside me. You lied to me. I know. You looked me in the eyes and lied. I was afraid. Afraid of what? Losing you. You were afraid of losing me while choosing him? She had no answer. Ryan stepped forward. I should have told you sooner. I looked at him. You should have told me before you touched her. He lowered his eyes. I turned toward Emma. Did you ever plan to tell me? Yes. Turned toward my parents, unable to hide the anger in my voice. You knew. Mom started crying. Please, let us explain. Explain what? Dad stepped forward. We knew Ryan and Emma were seeing each other. I stared at him. How long? Several days. Several days? Yes. I laughed bitterly. So while I was calling Emma every night, you already knew she was with Ryan? Mom whispered. We didn't know how serious it was at first. You knew enough. We were trying to protect you. Protect me? My voice shook. From what? The truth. Dad sighed. You weren't ready to hear it. I was her boyfriend. I had every right to know. I know. No. That. You don't. I pointed toward Ryan. You protected him. Dad's expression hardened. That isn't fair. Then tell me I'm wrong. He remained silent. I looked at Mom. And you? She wiped her tears. I wanted to give everyone time. Time for what? To understand their feelings. Then They needed time to understand their feelings. Yes. And I needed what? She couldn't answer. I looked at my father. Why did you accept this? He took a breath. Because Ryan is serious about marriage. So was I. You were talking about marriage. I was planning it. Dad shook his head. Ryan is more prepared. I felt my chest tighten. More prepared. He has a stable career. So, he understands the family business. And he knows how to manage money. I stared at him. Are you comparing us? I'm telling you the truth. What truth? Dad looked directly at me. Ryan is more stable. The words hit harder than I expected. I swallowed. So you think I'm not good enough for her? That isn't what I said. You didn't need to. Mom stepped toward me. Please don't think we don't love you. I looked at her. Then why does it feel like I'm always second? She started crying again. You're not second. Then why is Ryan always the better son? Dad in. I stood on the porch, trying to breathe. I wanted to leave without hearing another word. Then Emma came outside. Wait. I turned around. What? She stopped a few feet away. I need to tell you something. I laughed bitterly. What else could possibly be worse? She looked down. I moved some of my things. Where? She hesitated. Ryan's apartment. My entire body went still. When? Yesterday. Yesterday? Yes. You moved in with him yesterday? Not completely. I shook my head. You moved your things into his apartment while I was still your boyfriend? I didn't know how to tell you. You had plenty of chances. I was scared. Of me? No. Then what? Of hurting you. I laughed. You already did. She started crying. I know. I looked toward the house. Did my parents know? She nodded. Did Ryan help you move? Yes. I closed my eyes. That image hurt more than I expected. My brother carrying my girlfriend's boxes into his apartment. My girlfriend choosing where to put her clothes in the home she planned to share with him. I opened my eyes. What did you move? Some clothes. And books. A few personal things. Anything I gave you? She looked at me. Yes. My heart sank. Why? I couldn't leave everything behind. I shook my head. You left me behind. She cried harder. I'm sorry. I stepped away. Keep everything. What? The clothes. The books. Everything. I don't want to take things from you. They aren't mine anymore. She looked at me. They were memories. Not anymore. Ryan appeared at the doorway. Emma. I looked at him. You should go inside. He stared at me. I wanted to talk to you. I don't. Please. No. He came down one step. I know I hurt you. You don't know anything. Edo. No, Ryan. If you understood, you wouldn't have done this. He looked away. I shook my head. You were my brother. I still am. No. Barely slept after leaving my parents' house. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Emma standing beside Ryan. The next morning, I called my brother. Meet me. There was a pause. Where? The cafe near Dad's office. Okay. I arrived first and chose a table in the corner. A few minutes later, Ryan walked inside and sat across from me. He looked exhausted. I didn't care. Tell me the truth. I already told you what happened. No, you told me the versions that makes you feel better. Ryan looked down. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. I know. You knew Emma was my girlfriend. Yes. You knew I loved her. Yes. You knew I trusted you. He looked at me. Yes. I leaned forward. Then why did you do it? Ryan stayed silent. Answer me. I didn't plan any of this. That doesn't answer my question. We started talking. You were my brother. She was my girlfriend. You should have stopped. I tried. I stared at him. When? After we first talked. And what happened? I couldn't stop thinking about her. I laughed bitterly. So you followed your feelings. I didn't mean for it to become serious. But it did. Yes. I shook my head. You had thousands of women in this world. You chose her. She chose me too. Stop saying that. It's the truth. No, it's an excuse. Ryan's expression hardened. You want me to lie? I want you to understand what you destroyed. I understand. Do you? I pointed at him. You didn't just take my girlfriend. You destroyed my trust in my own family. Ryan looked away. I know you're angry. I'm not just angry. I took a breath. I'm trying to understand how my own brother could look me in the eyes every day while secretly seeing the woman I planned to marry. Ryan didn't answer. I continued. You gave me advice about Emma. Yes. You listened when I told you about our problems. Yes. You knew exactly how much I loved her. Yes. And all. I returned to the cafe the next morning because I realized I had left with too many questions. Ryan was already there. He looked up when I approached. I didn't think you'd come back. I didn't think I would either. I sat across from him. Yesterday, you said Emma complained about my money. Ryan nodded. I need to know exactly what she said. I don't think repeating everything will help. It will help me. He sighed. She said she was worried about your future. My future was always my business. I know. She knew I was building my own career. Yes. She knew I didn't want Dad's company. Yes. Then why did she complain? Ryan looked at me. She thought you were making things harder than necessary. I laughed quietly. Of course. What does that mean? It means she wanted the easy path. Ryan said nothing. I leaned forward. Did she compare me to you? He hesitated. Sometimes. I felt my jaw tighten. What did she say? She said you were talented, but you didn't have enough stability. Anything else? She said you could have had a better life if you'd accepted Dad's offer. I stared at the table. For years, my father had offered me a position in the family company. I had refused because I wanted to prove I could succeed without using my family's name. I never thought Emma saw that choice as a weakness. I looked at Ryan. Did she say she wanted someone like you? Ryan was silent. Answer me. She said you two were very different. That isn't an answer. She said I understood business better. I laughed. So she wanted your money. Ryan frowned. Don't reduce it to that. Then what should I call it? She wanted security. And you could give her that. Yes. I nodded slowly. That explains everything. Ryan leaned forward. You're making it sound simple. It is simple. No, it isn't. You had something I didn't. What? Exactly what she wanted. Ryan shook his head. She cared. Sat alone in my car after leaving the cafe. For years, I had believed Ryan was the one person in my family who understood me. Now, every memory felt different. I remembered the nights I had called him after arguments with Emma. I remembered asking him for advice. I remembered telling him things I had never told anyone else. Then I remembered his answer. You're lucky to have her. I had believed him. Now I wondered what he had really been thinking. My phone rang. Ryan. I stared at the screen before answering. What? I wanted to check on you. You don't get to do that anymore. I know you're angry. I'm not angry. There was silence. Then what are you? I looked through the windshield. Done. Done with what? With trusting you. Ryan sighed. I never wanted this. You keep saying that. Because it's true. Then why didn't you walk away from Emma? I couldn't. You could. No. Yes, Ryan. You could. He became quiet. I continued. You had a choice every single day. I know. You could have told me. I was afraid. Of what? Of losing her. I laughed. You were afraid of losing her while I was your brother. I didn't know what to do. You knew exactly what to do. What? Tell me the truth. He didn't answer. I shook my head. You know what hurts most? What? I trusted you more than I trusted myself. Ryan's voice softened. I'm sorry. I closed my eyes. I don't need your apology. Then what do you need? Distance. From me? From all of you. He was silent for several seconds. Are you leaving the family? I looked down at my hands. I don't know. You can't just disappear. Watch me. Please don't make a decision while you're emotional. I laughed bitterly. You all made decisions while I was the only person who didn't know what was happening. That's not fair. Fair. My voice rose. Was any of this fair? He had nothing to say. I ended the call. For the fight. I arrived at the park before Emma. It was the same place where we had once spent an entire afternoon talking about our future. When she finally arrived, she stopped a few feet away. I looked at her. Sit down. She sat across from me. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she whispered, Thank you for meeting me. I almost didn't. I understand. I looked at her carefully. Why did you ask me to come? I wanted to explain. You've already explained. Not everything. I gave a tired laugh. Then start. She took a breath. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. I know. You knew I loved you. Yes. You knew I trusted you. Yes. Then why did you choose Ryan? She looked away. Because I thought he could give me a better future. Histoire de hair. A better future? Yes. What does that mean? Stability. Money. She hesitated. Security. I nodded. So that's what I was missing. No. Then what was missing? She looked at me. You were struggling. I was building my career. I know. You knew that. I did. Then why wasn't that enough? She wiped her eyes. Because I was scared. Of what? Of having an uncertain future. I looked away. I could have built that future with you. I know. You never gave me the chance. I was afraid. You were afraid. So you betrayed me? She started crying. I didn't plan to betray you. But you did. Yes. I sat silently for a moment. Then I asked, do you love Ryan? She looked down. Yes. The answer hurt. But I didn't react. Instead, I asked, do you still care about me? She looked at me. Yes. I almost smiled. That's supposed to make me feel better? No. Then why say it? Because it's true. I nodded. You still care about me, but you're marrying him. Yes. You still remember everything we had. Yes. You still have feelings for me. She hesitated. I don't know what I feel anymore. Ilo.